Introducing the Intuitive Hour. Awaken your inner voice with psychic medium, author, and intuitive life coach, Michelle Beltran. The Intuitive Hour will empower you to learn how to magnify the powers of your intuitive voice. Listen in and expand your understanding of what it means to be psychic and how to awaken, amplify, and trust your inner voice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm your host, Michelle Beltran, and you are with me for another episode of the Intuitive Hour. Thank you for being here. All right, today we are talking about empaths. What is an empath exactly, and are you one? Let's start off with talking a little bit about what being empathic means. And that is that empathy, being empathic, is all about feeling the emotions of others. If you are an empath, you will find that this gift presents in many ways. For example, do you feel you just know things without being told? Or do you feel overwhelmed in busy and loud places? Is it hard to be in an airport, a mall, or a busy store? Do you find yourself taking on the emotions or feelings of others as if they were yours? Or do you feel the emotions of those near you? An empath will know or feel thoughts about themselves or another from near or even afar. So how do you discern if you are an empath? I'll present you with a few questions to ask yourself. First, do you have to turn off the television when you see violence or tragedy because it's just too unbearable? Do you stop watching or paying attention to the media altogether because of this? Do you actually feel the illness, aching, pains, or physical symptoms of others when you're near them? Particularly with someone you're very close with in a loving relationship, your partner or wife or husband? Do you feel yourself rooting for the losing team or the underdog in a situation? And are you inspired to support those who you see as being intimidated, bullied, or who are suffering? Notice if you are highly creative or extremely rich in imagination. This would be classic empathic characteristics. Do you daydream fantastically and consistently? Empaths are very keen when they are being lied to. They know when someone is telling a mistruth. They know when they are getting partial truth. Ask yourself, do you loathe dishonesty and feel a deep desire for truth? Many empaths are very natural healers. They have an affinity to heal others, to nurture, to support. They are drawn to holistic, metaphysical, or naturopathic solutions and remedies. Finally, an empath will desire quiet time, peace, and solitude in their daily lives, quite often, where they can just be, where they can just breathe and reflect and be in the moment. Very often, this is sought out through a deep connection and love of animals and children. All right, so if any of this speaks to you, then you are likely an empath. And so, how do you navigate these characteristics? How do you best be in this world as an empath, sensitive to the emotions and the energies around you? First and foremost, ground yourself daily. One of the most significant tools you have to maintain clarity is through grounding and running energy. We've talked about grounding and running energy in previous episodes. I would refer you to those Intuitive Hour episodes now. Next, you want to take time out for you every day. Take time to clear your mind, quiet the brain chatter. Make an agreement with yourself for 5 minutes that you're just going to be and breathe, and that all the busyness of life you will come back to after that 5 minutes. Number 3, stay in the center of your head. Like grounding, staying in the center of your head is a tool that keeps you present and collected. I would also refer you to a previous episode where we talked about techniques surrounding maintaining staying in the center of your head. As you navigate your day, be mindful of avoiding crowded and busy areas. Busy areas create emotion overload of sorts. If you're going to be in these areas, be sure to state a prayer of protection and or ground yourself, and be in these spaces for as little amount of time as you can. Finally, nature and animals. Surround yourself with nature and animals. These are two of the best ways to stay in the moment and balanced. Take some time to reflect when you've had an experience as an empath. List 5 examples of past experiences when you knew you felt the emotions of others, positive or negative. Remember that messages of intuitive guidance often come from emotions and experiences. Try to be a neutral observer and ask yourself why this empathic experience is happening. Look for the guidance in it as opposed to being wrapped in it or overwhelmed by it. Also, remember that when we're feeling emotions, we are the closest to our soul self, that side of you that never dies, that always is and always will be. So, tuning into that empathic side of you through your emotions becomes a powerful tool to communicate with not only spirit and our guides, but with our higher soul self. With that, we will call this another episode of the Intuitive Hour. I look forward to visiting with you here again next week.
Thanks for listening to the Intuitive Hour. If you're inspired to take your intuitive development to the next step, be sure to enroll in Michelle's newly released Kickstart Your Intuition e-course at michellebeltran.com.